Hello, folks, and welcome back to We Are the Militia. So, let's chat for a minute, shall we? I've heard a lot of things from the anti gun side, and none of them make any sense. Specifically, um, AR 15s need to be banned because they're dangerous killing machines in the hands of criminals. But nobody needs an AR 15 for defense. Can somebody explain that to me? Like, why does no one need an AR 15 to defend themselves if criminals use them to kill people by the scores? That fact, not that it really is a fact, has always eluded me. Like, can you explain that? Can you explain why I don't need an AR-15? Because it's too dangerous to defend myself with? I'm really not sure. Um, that aside, I heard an anti-gunner today say that 93 million Americans a day are killed because of gun violence. 93 million Americans a day? In like 4 days, there wouldn't be any Americans left if that were true. Are, are you serious? Are, are you for real right now? Like, look, when it comes to the anti-gun stuff, like, just do me a favor. Don't take anything I say as the gospel. Please, by all means, do your own research. Go buy a gun. No, seriously. Go buy a gun. You should own a gun. It's good for you. It's good for the defense of your family. It's good for you as an individual. Please stop relying on our government. Our government does not care about you. It never will care about you. Go buy yourself a gun. And this is not to knock police. Believe me, I love the police. A very, very close friend of mine is a police officer in Pennsylvania, and he's a good man. He's a good man. He's the type of man who would go to the hilt for you. He's a very good man, and he's a police officer here in the state of Pennsylvania. And so I've got nothing against police, but factually speaking, this is why you need a gun. When bad things happen, when seconds matter, the police are minutes away. And my very good friend, who is a police officer in the state of Pennsylvania, he will tell you the same thing. The police do what they do, and they do the best they can. But the fact remains, police don't typically stop crime. They respond to it. And that's just the nature of the beast. How can you respond to a crime you don't know is happening? Uh, they're good men doing a tough job, and they deserve to be respected. At the same time, own a gun. Own a gun. Because nobody's saying the police don't want to be there. I'm saying the police won't be there, not when you need them. And that's nothing against them. Again, it's the nature of the beast. They're going to want to be there. They want to stop crime. They want to keep people safe. That's why people become police officers. Typically, you got your bad apples. That is what it is, and you're never going to change that. But at the end of the day, the police want to do what the police are designed to do. They want to protect people. And they can't. They can't. No more than every soldier, sailor, airman, and marine on the planet can protect you from crime. Are they more qualified than the standard individual? Yeah. But are they going to be able to protect you? Realistically? When some scumbag kicks in your front door and wants to take everything you have, are they going to be able to protect you? No. No, they're not. Gun ownership is not about wanting to hurt people. Gun ownership is not about wanting to do harm to others. Gun ownership is about what this country was based on, taking your own safety into your own hands. Because you understand that nobody, no government agency can possibly have the same response time, the same consideration that you have for your family. That is the point of firearms defense. Now, mind you, I said that is the point of firearms defense, not the point of the Second Amendment. The Second Amendment is and always will be written for the purpose of self-defense in the same regard. And let me explain why. The Second Amendment was designed to defend you against your government. That's the reason for it. For you to do what I just said and take your responsibility upon yourself and defend yourself. That's the reason for it. Because you can't rely on anybody else to defend you for you. You can't. The only thing you've got in this world is your hands and your wits. That's all you got at the end of the day. You might be married, but marriages end. You might be employed, but employment ends. Hell, factually speaking, it doesn't matter what you have. Multi-million-dollar businesses go bankrupt all the time. But you know what doesn't change? Your rifle and your hands. At least right now. And that's part of the reason people like me are fighting. That's part of the reason people like me are making these videos. Because right now, that is what doesn't change. That is not something that changes. Your rifle and your hands do not go away. They're always with you. They are something you can rely on. Obviously, you have to buy a rifle first, but that's aside the point. When everything is crumbling around you and you feel like you have no hope, there are two things after you buy a rifle that you will always have: your rifle and your hands. Somebody wants to do you harm, you pull your rifle, they change their mind. That's fact. So, the whole rights of abortion, the whole idea of the right to feel safe, that can't be law because it can't be enforced. It's on you. And I'm here to tell you, that's not something that's ever going to change. At least not with the way things are now. You're not going to change somebody's mind. If they've made up their mind to hurt you, you're not going to change their mind. The best you can do, the absolute best you can do, is fight back. So why allow yourself to be inadequately prepared? And I don't condone violence. There's no reason to get violent on a daily basis. There's just no reason for it. Until there is. And when that day comes, I promise you, you will want the most efficient weapon possible when those things turn violent. And to Robert Francis O'Rourke, I will not call you by your Spanish nickname because you are an Irish American, sir, and you're not fooling me any more than you're fooling anybody else with your Spanish nickname or anything else. You are not fooling me, sir. You're a felon. You shouldn't even be eligible to run in the current presidential election. But you got friends and you got connections, and surprise a fucking prize, you're in the running. You're a coward. You're a coward surrounded by personal security who wants to take the best means of defense away from people. How can I put it better than that? You're a stereotype, sir. Just like all your constituents. You're a stereotype. Touting the bull crap. You don't care about the people of this country. And let me tell you, like the idea of taxing bullets, the idea of taxing firearms, the idea of punishing firearms manufacturers. Do you understand what that means? For all you leftists, progressives, whatever the hell you call yourselves out there, do you understand what you're doing? Like, you're all about the little guy. At least that's what you say. You're all about the little guy. You're all about the individual. You're all about those people who make less than X amount of money a year, and you want to make sure that they're taken care of. And then at the same time, you want to take away their best means of protecting themselves by taxing the hell out of the ammo and the firearms to make it so only the rich can frickin' afford them? Are you kidding me? Who are you out to protect? Honestly. I'm not rich. And I'm fine with that because there's nothing wrong with being blue collar. There's nothing in the world wrong with being blue collar. People have their place where they're comfortable and that's where they stay. And I'm okay right now with being blue collar. I've got no problems with it. I'm proud of the work I do and I'm proud of the man I am. And I got no qualms with telling you that. But you want to take my ability to defend myself away from me because you want to tax ammo, you want to tax guns, you want to make things unobtainable. You're not hurting the rich, who is supposed to be your biggest enemy. That's supposed to be the ones you're fighting against is the rich, which I don't buy into the whole bourgeoisie communist bullshit that you people feed us. I don't buy into it, and it's crap. You know who you're hurting? By those proposed bans you're talking about, those proposed taxes you're hurting it. You're talking about. You know who you're hurting? You're hurting the people who need it the most. The poor people. The poor people who are trying to make an honest living in the projects of Chicago. The poor people who are trying to make an honest living in the projects of Los Angeles. The poor people who are trying to make an honest living in the projects of New York. You're hurting them. You're hurting them because they're the ones who really like. I'm not pretentious. I'm not fake. I live in the Pocono Mountains. I have no real legitimate threat against me because typically speaking, out where I live, nobody comes here looking for shit. And if they did, they'd find a gun. Lots of them. Pointed in their face. But that's a different story entirely. I'm talking right now about those people you're harming. Those people in those cities I just named. Those cities with the worst gun control on the frickin' planet. Do you understand who you're harming? You're harming the people you claim to protect because you don't protect anybody. You're out for your own self-interests. You know who I protect? Everyone I have the chance to protect, with my life if necessary. With my guns. Fact. You want to talk about how you're all about the little guy. You want to talk about how you're all about protecting everybody and you don't practice what you preach. That's the problem. You contradict yourselves with almost every word. Let's talk about inner cities for a minute. Inner cities are bastions of, I hate the term, so I'm gonna use with air quotes, and I hate air quotes too, but I'm gonna do it because it disgusts me, the term itself, so I have to do something to mitigate the bad taste in my mouth. Gun violence. You want to mitigate the gun violence. So you put restrictions in place so people can't buy guns. Congratulations. All you've done is made it harder for the legally available citizens to own firearms. Now they are less protected. Congratulations. Great job. Congratulations. You hurt the little guy again, like you do. But you're supposed to be the party of inclusion. You're supposed to be the party of everybody's equal. Except at every single solitary turn, you prove otherwise. And while I'm on the fact, Pennsylvanians, if you're watching this video, please, by all means, November 5th, we have a vote coming up. Please, by all means, go out and vote no on Marsy's Law. If you are unaware of Marsy's Law, let me tell you what it is. It is the Victims of Crimes Rights Act. Now, let me tell you why it is bad. Okay? The Victims of Crimes Rights Act, Marsy's Law, it would be added to our state constitution should it get approved. It cannot go through. It cannot. And here is why. Because blatantly in the wording of the law, it states that reasonable protection of the victim needs to be provided against the accused. It also states that the accused cannot question the accusations set against them. Does anybody else see how dangerous this is? This is not about victims' rights. This is about what the left wants to do. They did it with Brett Kavanaugh. The rape allegations that went nowhere because there was no evidence. But they want to change the law, and they're trying in Pennsylvania now to do it. If you are accused, that does not mean you are convicted. And in this country, we are innocent until proven guilty. And this law changes that to guilty until proven innocent, as evidenced by the fact that the law states the accused. The accused. Just because I'm accused does not mean I'm guilty. It's what they do. And it's not surprising. It's the typical, here it is, here's the law. It sounds great on paper, and how could you ever vote against it? But here's the poison pill that flips everything upside down. This is who we're dealing with, people. They speak pretty. They speak pretty, and they take your rights. Don't let them. Do not stand idly by and let them take your rights. Stand up. Stand up and protect our Constitution. Because the moment we set a precedent like the innocent are not innocent until proven guilty, they're guilty until proven innocent, that sets a dangerous precedent. We can't go there. That's just more socialist bullshit trying to shove its way down our throats, and we can't allow it. We can't. And that's why I make these videos, and that's why I try to illustrate that we are the militia. Because I will not go down without a fight. I will not. Maybe I lose, maybe I win, but I will not go down without a fight, because we are the militia, and we are the last bastion of freedom left in the world. And unless a whole things change around the world, that's not changing. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of We Are the Militia. Do me a favor, hit that like, hit that subscribe, and go ahead and punch the shit out of that notification bell, and let me know that you like what we're doing. If you don't, is what it is. You're entitled to your opinion. If you do like what you're doing, please, by all means, hit that notification bell, hit that like and subscribe, and we'll be happy to bring more to you. Until then, ora semper fi, and God be with you.